Yo, what's happening, guys? How's it going? Hope everyone's having a good day. Just bringing you my gadgets loadout. Finally, I've been testing this for a few days now. I've been having fun with it. It's really not that bad. I've been having a blast with it. So we're gonna hop into this. We'll start off with AOE. So let's jump in. As you can see, in terms of my white sockets, we've got blast adapter. I've got critical battle display. I've got escalating might. We got berserker. We got penetrating strikes, restorative gas, and then for our boots we got tumbler master, and then we got improved stealth in the hands. I am running a 200 ebon with this build. You can run Quizlet if you want to. I'm just really liking the ebon at the moment, so I'm rocking the ebon with the 2 cards. Let's hop into a different phase because these are both occupied. Let's jump into it. So obviously this is a little bit power hungry, obviously because of the ebon, right? But we actually counteract with that. So I actually run Superman as my main source of damage with this guy. This is a AOE build, so I use Superman because he's probably one of the best for AOE. And then to help with my power sustain, I actually run Cyborg and Oracle, and this actually does help quite a bit when we're running content and stuff. When there's no troll and stuff, it does help. So yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing here. So let's jump into it. I'll show you the numbers, what we're hitting. And then I'll explain what I'm running straight after. So every 6 ability, we get power back. And it's a big chunk of power too.
Scanning.
Note this is like a mid-range sort of loadout. I fucking hate people like this, dude. Jesus Christ, man. You just can't like do a video. This is why I do my videos normally during the morning, because I can't stand people, dude. Let me switch phase again, because there's obviously too goddamn many people in this fucking game. Alright. So let's explain the skills. I'll redo that in a minute. But as you can see, we're running napalm. This adds burning to the enemies. This is really helpful. It's a good power interaction, plus it's damage over time. Super nice. And then we take the implosion mine. What this does is it actually sucks everyone in to this minefield, right? And then it blows them up. So it's doing 2 things. It's pulling them in, it's hitting that, and then it also says burning enemies take additional damage. This also inflicts frostbite, which is a second interaction, power interaction, what we're applying. And then we take fear of gas. So burning enemies used against so if we use this against burning additional enemies, it does additional damage. If this is applied to electricity, it burns them. So, but because we're already burning them from the napalm, this is just doing additional damage. This is doing additional damage, but it's also applying the frostbite. So we've got 2 power interactions and then additional damage. Obviously with this, paralyze and dart, it adds all of these interactions. So all these interactions, they take additional damage. So if any of these applied, we get additional damage. So we're getting additional damage for 2 of them, which is really nice. And then obviously dazes, which then comes into the 3rd power interaction for the loadout. This adds daze. This encasement's just like a build up, really. I use it for two things. I use it for supercharge generator, and I also use it for an encase. So when I go into my stealth tree, you know, and then I pop my big burst with the EMP pulse, it does that additional damage, right? So that's pretty much it. Let's jump into the rotation again, now that we're not going to be interrupted. Hopefully. Swap over to the combat tree here. So as you can see, I did a 3.2. I normally pull about 3.5 when we're up fully. Let's see if I can get a 3.5 real quick.
Calculation completed.
So laggy in this game, man. I really hope that they fix this lag at some point, because it's so bad nowadays, dude. Seems like it's getting worse as well with the lag and the latency. I don't think I'm gonna pull any eye because it's just so laggy, dude. Like it's almost like I'm missing things because it's laggy. But there you go. It was another 3.2 anyway. You know, we managed to pull another 3.2. But I can't. I've got a 3.5 because I remember hitting it the other day. So I mean, the damage is pretty much there. In terms of that, obviously artifacts. We're running the 2 cards and then the E-Bond, right? If you don't want to run the E-Bond, you can swap that for a quiz. You could swap that for the quiz, right? So let's do a rotation with a quiz real quick.
Calculation completed.
Obviously my quiz isn't at 200, so I'm actually losing quite a lot because it's only at what you call it, 163 minus. As you can see, we did a 2.7. I did about 2.7 mil with a 163 quiz. So I mean, it's subpar damage is there. In terms of my stealth tree, we do obviously that was there just to see if I can clip, but we do actually run the gas as our supercharge, and then we run battle display and EMP. If you didn't want to run gas, you could run Neo Venom boost. That would be another good option. Quite personally, I think the gas is more than suffice though. And I'll quickly showcase how much the gas does even with the E-Bond. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stack up and get my stacks first on an E-Bond, and then we'll rock it off you know. I'm just gonna do some rotations here. So I get my skull. Alright, I think we're at max stacks now. Let's see what that hits. As you can see, look, 91k ticks on that gas right there. Just gonna let that play out here. So I'd say this lower one was the gas, which was like just under, or just over 700,000 on the gas. You guys can't see because my camera's in the way. Let me do this real quick. Voila. Here you can see. So it was about 700,000 on the gas, which I don't think is too bad. I think that's a big chunk of damage, especially when you're doing your rotation as well. It's a nice big chunk of damage. So yeah, that's really not that bad. It's pretty nice. Let me turn that back on and then let me switch over. So yeah, let's do the single target. Single target's a little bit different. I do still run the E-Bond and the 2 cards. This is situational. I mean, you could run Solar Amp and the 2 cards if you wanted to, and then you could actually just get rid of like this and then run I-Beam. That would be a pretty solid loadout there, but we don't do that. I stick with the old 2 cards and the E-Bond. I'm really liking E-Bond at the moment. It's super nice to have it. So let's jump into this rotation, and then I'll explain everything afterwards.
Calculation completed.
So this time we're not actually building stacks of E-Bond. So I mean, you're still getting good damage from it, but realistically, I think if you had a 200, if you had Quizlet at 200, you probably might be better off running that as a single target sort of situation. Another thing what you could run would be a 200 Lassier's Amulet. But as you can see, we pulled a good 1500 there. 1.5. We pulled a 2.2 mil. Oh no, that's before. Yeah, so we pulled a 1.5 mil. You know, and I wasn't really trying. I mean, it's not bad. Let me swap out for Lanier's. So you could run a Lanier with this build because, you know, obviously you're doing your abilities right, and then you're burning it off and getting your health back. So you could run that option. You know, that wouldn't be too much of a problem. I'm gonna do a quick little rotation with this just to see what it hits. I killed myself, but that's fine. You know, we're pulling about 1500 with that too, like 1.5 mil with that as well. So give or take, you're around about 1.5 mil. Let's do it with a quiz now, just to see what we get with a quiz. Personally, I just think E-Bond's just really nice. Now that I've got it to 200, like I've tried it before and I didn't really like it, but I only ever had it at like 160, and my personal opinion, it's just a 200 art, sadly. I just think it's a 200 level 200 art. So there is that. Yeah, so you can see, like, because my quiz is only 163, we're quite a lot lower, like a good 100k lower in that sense. But I mean, if you think about it, if I took my quiz to 200, you might actually be better off with a quiz on a single target, just for the simple reason that you're running a finisher, right? And the way E-bomb works is if you run a finisher, it cleanses all your stacks and it gives you power, which isn't that great, because the way that you want E-bomb to be is you want to be at max stacks consistently, right? You want to be at that sacrifice of power, so you get them max stacks of might. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, it's just one of them things, right? Personally, I would say Quizlet's better. The only reason why I'm running this is because it's a 200R, right? I mean, if my Quizlet's at 200, I'd probably swap it out, and that's just my personal preference. That's just how I'm going off of my experience with gadgets. But yeah, obviously we run Taser Pole, Fear Gas, Vortex Cannon, Paralyzing Dart, Photon Blast, and then in our stealth tree, we have Gas, Battle Display, EMP Pulse. In terms of my allies, yeah, on a single target, it's a little bit different. I was running this with the AoE too, but then I found like I was still struggling for power, hence why I swapped out from static. I took static away and I put Oracle on my AoE, just to give me that additional power. But as I've said before, Crypto is probably one of the best single target damages in the game, unless you got Teagle. Teagle's pretty good too, apparently, from what I've heard from people. Obviously Cyborg for that passive power regeneration, that really does help us, being gadgets, as gadgets just is a little bit power hungry. It's on the power hungry side. And then obviously Static, from when we ever drop our supercharges, we get that additional damage from him. So yeah, super nice. In terms of how I spec, the other guys is exactly the same. So obviously we go super powered, critical attack chance, critical attack damage, magnitude, and then I take might and power, and then we take precision. In terms of my super speed, we just go down, so we grab these two here. In terms of my iconic powers, I take Robot Psychic, Hard Light Shield, Neo Venom Boost, Heat Vision, Super Strength. And it's the same with my AoE loadout, just to show you guys that I'm not lying here. I don't want to be called out. Where is it? Here we go. So super speed. Obviously we take Cyclone Push. This is optional. I don't use it. I was trying it. It does do a lot of damage, and you can get a lot of damage from this. Because there, let me jump into this real quick. So, if you didn't want to run, you wouldn't run Dart, right? You would run this, and then this would go, and then you would run Cyclone, right? And then you would actually run Suppressor Turret. And what you do with this loadout is you jump clip Suppressor Turret with the Cyclone, and then you hit the bomb, gas, and so forth, right? But realistically, you wouldn't have a supercharge generator on this loadout, because obviously that would be Dart. Where is it? No, it is. So like this build does pose some good damage. But it's very power hungry. Okay. And it's that power hungry, I don't like it. So we don't actually run that, because I did try that loadout too. and I just didn't like it. So realistically, you don't need that. So just get these ones for the AoE, and then obviously the allies, and then obviously that just does the same as the other ones, because it could be situational. Like I mean, heat vision can be AoE as well. So I just figured I'd grab it. You know what I mean? But let's hop into the controller. So I've recently been having people telling me, what if you don't run the Bird's Blitz and the moon, which is fine. We can get into that. So obviously this one's different, right? So if you're not running these two artifacts, and say you're running like a Grimball Chains or something else, right? Whatever you're running, whether it's like a buff controller, so you're running Claw the Auckland, you're running Amulet Arow, and then you're running Power Sights, Power Harness, or something like that, right? You're a buff troll and power troll. I would say you want all three debuffs. So obviously this is a heal down, this is the defense down, and I'm pretty sure we want a damage output. So this is how I would run it if I wasn't running Hecate and I wasn't running thingy. So you'd have your healing debuff, you'd have your defense down, damage output, you still got your power dump, you still got distract to be able to pick people up, you still got your supercharge to group shield everyone and give them all that additional power. But because I actually do not need them, because I run Bird's Blitz, which gives me all three debuffs on one button, then we take Hecate for another power dump plus additional damage. My personal opinion is I've been a buff troller in the past. I've been a battle troll in the past. I've been a power troll in the past. I would say running Bird's Blitz and running Hecate, the way I set up is I'm all of it. I'm a battle troll, I'm a buff troll, I'm a power troll, all in one. And I'll elaborate on this. So we've got a one button debuff that gives us all three debuffs on one button. Okay, we're doing additional damage with the scythes from the Blood Moon brand attack, right? This is also buffing people, giving them additional might. No, it doesn't give them might. What am I about? It gives them power. So it gives them additional power. So we're getting a power dump from this and a power dump from this. So we've got two power dumps, what are giving stupid amount of power to people. Okay, but this is also doing damage. And this is really, really nice that it's doing extra damage, right? That being said, because of the allies what I run, because I run General Zod, whenever I do a power dump, I get this symbol above my head. What this symbol does is what Claw the Auckland does. So this is literally Claw the Auckland built into an ally. It's not as strong as Claw the Auckland, but it's still enough to help the group. Okay, it's not as potent, but it's near enough a same buff, right? I think this is insane, and I couldn't get rid of this. I just couldn't. I think this is super nice. That being said, we are Black Lantern and up as well with Death Metal Batman. So what this actually does, this puts a big pull down. I think you saw it when I tripped my Gauss grenade. This thing here. If anyone's standing in this, okay, if anyone's within this, they're gonna get a ton of stuff. So if there's any enemies what we kill whilst we're standing in this, they're gonna get so up to 3 group members and myself. So that's four members from the group of a raid will get up to an 8% maximum heal. I'm only at level 7 with this guy, but yeah, it will go up to an 8% maximum heal currently where I have it. Plus, whoever's standing in that pool, they will restore 10% of their power over time. It's got a 60-second cooldown, which is huge. But when this is at level 10, I think it's only like, I want to say it's probably about a 25 to a 30-second cooldown, which really isn't that long in situational fights, especially in like survival mode and you know, harder content like Elite Plus and Elite. You know, it will proc quite often. I think this is huge, and I think it's way worth having. I wouldn't be without this. If you did want to live without this, I suggest you could go Cyborg, or you could take Black Adam for the Supercharge generator. That would be your 2 options. But realistically, you don't need the power return from Cyborg, so I would say Cyborg is kind of pointless. And then I would say Black Adam, the generator is nice, but technically you don't need it either. So hence why I dropped Black Adam for this guy. And then our main ally, what we're running, is Satana. What she does is she reduces the enemy's damage by 9% for 12 seconds. That's super nice. I mean, that's a huge buff. Bear in mind, she's not max. So, I mean, I'm getting 9% off of her currently. But I've got 4 more levels to go with her. So I dread to think what she's debuffing a boss by. Probably, I would say, way over 15%. You know, when she's at max. Which is just huge. So, that's what we run. But let's jump into it. So, obviously, we got Birds of Blitz. That gives us all of our debuff. We got Haircake, which is a power dump. We got another power dump. We got a Supercharge generator. And then Distract. And then we got our Supercharge. In terms of my artifacts, we are running BOP, Amulet Aral, Brand Haircake. Realistically, if you didn't have this, and you didn't have that, you could go Grimball Chains and Parasite. You could go Clawed Auckland and Grimball Chains. You could have Clawed Auckland and a Tetrahedron. That's entirely up to you, whatever you want to do. This is just my personal preference, and this is what I go with. And I just highly recommend using this. This is like perfect for controlling. You got a 1-button debuff. You've got the debuffs hitting everyone. And then you've got a ton of damage as a controller. To help with damage is huge. And then on top of that, you know, you're power dumping from this. So you're doing damage and giving power. Like, what's there not to like? It's great, you know? The only other thing I would say is I do have a lasso setup. And hear me out. This is for when I'm running elite content with my league. This is how we do it. Not every group's like this, but this is how we do it. So when we're running the brand new raid, what's currently out, I can't think what it's called off the top of my head. Let me have a look. So when we run this Cursed Themyscira Elite raid, okay? Normally the controller grabs all the ghosts from the doors, and this is my job as a controller. So obviously all Lasso does is allows me to grab the ads. Because we're a controller and we got high dominance, we can actually get away with doing this in that particular case, because they're only NPC ads, right? They're not bosses. So we can actually grab these ads. So that's really, really handy. So I do have the Lasso set up for that. And then we keep Bop and we keep Amulet around this setup. The reason why is because I still get the 3-button debuff. We've grabbed all the ads. You know, I can still debuff the boss. I can still power dump. I can still block my mitigation with my damage. I can encase the ads to give myself a break. you know, with the supercharge generator. Plus, I got the supercharge, what just protects me even more if I need it. It's just there, right? And then in terms of the allies stay the same. In terms of how I spec my skills, it's all the same. So I got super powered, critical power chance, critical power magnitude, vitalization, and then after that I go into dominance. Obviously, weapon brawling into martial arts, and then we take that tap hold for the shuriken mastery. Who am I trolling? That's pretty much it, man. That's pretty much my gadgets in-depth guide. I hope you guys enjoy it. Go and try it out for yourself. It's really not that bad. My only pet peeve with gadgets right now, and I'm not a fan of stealth, and I don't like it for mental either. I think the whole stealth thing of these powers ruin these powers. I would like to see this go back to how it originally was. So, you know, back in the day, there was like an AoE pyrokinesis thought bubble in case loadout. You didn't need stealth for that loadout, and it did a lot of damage. I would much rather it go somewhat kind of that way, just so we don't have to use stealth. You know, the problem is if you want to pull the top tier damage with gadgets or with mental, you have to have a stealth loadout tree. And it just sucks that it is in that kind of mannerism. And then the other pet peeve because of that is because the game's laggy from time to time, and you get these huge lag spikes when you're in middle of raids and stuff. It's really hard to get the damage out half the time because it just lags out, and then you're lagging behind, and then it desyncs, and you probably lose out on damage because of it, right? So that's my only pet peeve with playing with gadgets and playing with mental, you know. But other than that, I've been having a blast with it. It's been really, really fun playing gadgets, and just wanted to share my experience with gadgets and put my loadout out there for you guys to like and try for yourself. You know, by all means, this isn't the best loadout out there. There's probably people out there what way better than me. People are pulling way more damage than me, and that's okay. You know, I'm not trying to be the best player. I'm just trying to put my knowledge, what I know, and what I use out there for other people to have a level of a starter basis, right? So, yeah. I hope you all enjoy. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up. Like, follow, subscribe. I do stream on Twitch 3 days a week, so feel free to hop over there and give me a follow as well, so you can catch me when I go live. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. Have a good one. Take care. All the best. Laters.